Hey everyone, Pyramid Intel. I'm not even sure what I'm going to call this one because it's going to cover so many issues and topics, but here's the story. Last night I went to see The Sound of Freedom, the Trafficking movie, and I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it because everyone needs to be educated. It's a true story. I'm really into nonfiction. It tells a story without being too graphic, and the people who struggled to make this film without any support, very little support, or let's just say they had a lot of support within their community, but they had a lot of obstacles thrown in their way for obvious reasons. So support them. And I'm tired. I'm emotionally drained still from that film because, you know, I don't just, it's not just the topic of the film, it's a topic, it reverberates into society about how, what, where, why all of this was allowed to happen, and what we need to do to fix it. That's what I do. I tend to think of ways that we can fix things and draw attention to it. Otherwise, what's the point of talking about it at all? Which is what most people do. They love to run their mouths about shit, but then they don't want to put in the time, energy, or, you know, brain capacity lent to it to solve the actual problem. Okay. So the first thing that popped in my head after this film was people pouring across the border, you know, criminals moving drugs and moving human bodies for trafficking. So the immigration issue, a lot of people don't seem to be taking it that seriously. When Trump wanted to build the wall, everybody laughed at him. It was like a big joke. And, you know, when I look back, I'm kind of pissed that he didn't make more of a stink about the specifics. And I brought this up to my friend as to why the wall needed to be built. I mean, he was talking about criminals and everything, but the amount of human trafficking is really, really disturbing. And it's you know, so easy to run everything across the border. And in Florida, people make jokes about it, a lot of jokes about it. You know, oh, well, we don't have anyone to work in the fields to pick the tomatoes and clean hotel rooms and stuff like that. And this is nothing against the Mexicans either. The average Mexican person, just like the average person in any country, is probably pretty sweet, and a very hard worker. And my experiences having a lot of Mexicans in my hometown has been that way. They really don't bother anyone. They just keep to themselves and they're happy to have a job. You know, and that's why people would risk their lives and, you know, try to sneak into a country out of desperation and just wanting to feed their families. But there's a whole lot of other shit pouring across the border, and that's what it was all about. And let's talk about polarization. That's the next thing. When we look at people and we're programmed to think this way, we see black or white. They're all good or they're all bad. And, you know, with your political party, the other party is all good or it's all bad. Well, clearly I don't feel that way because first of all, I'm a Libra. And secondly, I'm an independent because I do not see anything as all good or all bad. And if you're seeing anyone or anything that way, then you have a serious problem. You need to break that program. It's like the Catholic Church, you know, horrible things have happened at the top in the Catholic Church. It doesn't mean everyone in the Catholic Church is a demon. They're beautiful people that are doing the right thing of everything that that church is supposed to represent. At least it's marketed that way, but it isn't. So it's the same with people. Every person, no matter how much you dislike them or how much you love them, they have a good side and a bad side. They have good qualities and bad qualities, which brings me back to Trump. He's so polarizing. You love him or you hate him. The people that love him can't see any of his faults and they'll rip your throat out if you mention them. And the people that hate him can't see any of the good that he does, or they'll rip your throat out. They can't even hear you. Neither one can hear you. Do you know how unhealthy that is? Do you know how blind you are if you find, and I'm not putting you down if you feel this way, okay? I've done the same thing, but I have learned that this is incorrect, which is why I'm making a video about it, and I'm addressing it. And I'm making those changes in my life to the best of my ability because I realize that it's insane. Everything is dark and light. Everything is good and bad. And it's within inside every single person. And I'll be the first to say, yeah, there are things about Trump that I don't like, and I can list them out for you. But there are things I do like about him. And what I liked about him is that he's the only one who made such a big deal and actually wanted to take action and did take action to try to fix it. And just the fact that someone is standing up for trafficking Human trafficking, the biggest problem on the planet right now in such a big way. I love him for it. I love that about him, and I will always love him for it, regardless of any other mistake that he makes or any other personality flaws he may have or anything else that you could say, you know, is on the shit list about him. He did a good thing. And the next thing people say is, well, he just did it because he wants to say, I'm the greatest president of all, you know, it's all because of me and what I've done, me. Who gives a shit? You know, if he did it because he's a narcissist and he wants to go down as being the only one who solved that problem or the greatest president in history because of that or whatever, let him have it. Why are you so worried about him getting it? Then it's your fucking ego that's the problem, not his, right? Because do you want someone that you don't like to succeed so it offends your ego, or do you want to stop human trafficking? These are the kind of things that you need to ask yourself. Okay? And I'm going to leave it right there because I'm a little fired up about it. Clearly, I was like, don't drop F-bombs today, Wendy, and they came out anyway. That's okay. I'm not going to erase them because you know what? It's authentic. And it accentuated how I feel. So there you go. So you should see it. You should say prayers for these people. When you see the film, you're going to understand what goes into something like that and the willingness of some people to put everything on the line and actually sacrifice their own families and friends and jobs and well-beings because it's a right thing to do. How many people are willing to sacrifice anything because it's the right thing to do in this day and age? That's the problem. That's what we need to get back, our humanity. Our humanity. So I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.